Good morning to you, Nigeria. Good morning to you, your state. Good morning to you, Ibadan, the capital of your state. You're welcome to another fresh edition of a newspaper review program, Perspectives Unlimited, where we go beyond the news. This is your daily guide through the pages of Nigerian major dailies. All right, my name is Ayo Emmanuel Ujo, and I'm here to help you make sense of what's making the rounds across the country and beyond. If time permits us today, from politics to politics, or policies rather, economy to education, security to society. Today's papers are packed with stories that shape how we live, what we expect, where we are headed, whether you're on your way to work already or you're getting set to leave the house today. We're here, to take you through all of them. And this is your space to stay informed, reflect, and engage on issues happening in Nigeria. Today, it is called Perspective Unlimited. If you can grab a cup of tea, hold your pen if you must, and let's open today's edition together, the news, the views, and what it all means right here and right now. Welcome to the program for today. This is the weekend edition of the program. We go through the front pages of the dailies first. Right after that, we talk about the big stories of the week, and then we dive into some of the pressing issues in Nigeria for today. Our analyst is also ready to help us make sense of all of them. But first off, we start from the front page. This morning, we have the Punch newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, and the Guardian. We look at all of them, what they're saying on the front page, and then we get straight into the story. On page 9 of the Punch for today, Buhari government went after my allies post 2015 election, says Jonathan. On page 23, NNPC refineries may never work again. Dangote. NNPC refineries may never work again. On page 7, corrupt politicians using crypto wallets to launder money, EFCC chair. On page 7, Nigeria rejected U.S. push to accept Venezuelan deportees, says Tuga. Now to page 2 of the Punch, which is the major story for today. Autonomy standoff. Govs get 4.5 trillion naira local government funds 1 year after Supreme Court ruling. The rider to the story, 3 of them, local government yet to open CBN account even in July 2025. Okay. Labour blames Govs. AGF for delay. Falano SAN accused Govs federal government. One day we're going to set aside, say, a section of our conversation to look at the Supreme Court again, or probably we'll look at the judicial system. The Supreme Court's decision is supreme, but in this case, it's not looking like it. All right, let's go to page 25. GT Co planned fresh expansion after London Stock Exchange listing on page 25. On page 8, Igodalo angry as Tinubu Govs praise Okpebelo's court victory. On page 4 and 5, 3-year-old boy dies inside Lagos Sokeway. Sad story there. And of course, on page 6, local government poll, ballot snatching will trigger by-elections, says Lasiek warns. On page 6. Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune, published today, the 11th of July. All right, we'll start with page 7 of the Tribune. UBA announces strategic expansion into markets across Africa. On page 7, on page 6, Arewa Economic Forum warns against CBN's new BDC recapitalization, cite threat to northern economy, national security, and seek expansion of policy. On page 28, Nigeria won't bow to pressure, U.S. pressure to accept Venezuelan deportees. On page 28, says the federal government. Moving on to page 2, which is the big story or major story on the Tribune this morning, how Adoke orders stopped Jonathan from removing me as Gov, says Shetima. The writer says ex-AGF was hunted globally over $1.3 billion. OPL 245 saga, says Jonathan. I have forgiven everyone behind my ordeal, says Adoke on page 2. On page 27, AGBEYEWO removes Natasha as Diaspora Committee Chair, appoint Akwa Ibom Senator in her place, on page 7. On page 3, NNPCL must account for 210 trillion naira, Senate insists. And on page 22, flood may unleash toxic chemicals, possesses risk to elderly ecosystem, United Nations warns. And on page 4, Supreme Court affirms Okwebolo as a Edo State Governor. All right, now we move on to the Guardian newspaper. INEC deploys online party registration portal as applicant hit 129. Maybe Mr. Sanni will register his own party too. It's like everyone is warming up. Federal government shrugs off U.S. pressure to accept foreign prisoners and deportees, on page 3. On the same page, 210 trillion naira probe, Senate berate NNPC boss for defiance, issues ultimatum. And on page 4 and 5, elderly care, imagine boom in home services, costly substitute for ailing hospitals. And on page 30, security operatives killed, others missing in fresh Benue attack. On page 7, ECOWAS call to reject bid to overturn $10,000 judgment against Nigeria. In Lagos State, APC opposition parties bleaker over exercise. And finally, ADC coalition faces uphill task to unseat Tinubu, says presidency Bode George, on page 6. That's all we can take this morning on the front page of the program. Thank you once again for joining us today on Perspectives Unlimited. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is the radio station you're listening to, and we are broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Thank you for joining us. Watch us live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Like, comment, and share on YouTube, Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We will be right back.
The new chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs is distinguished Senator Aniekan Bassi, and it will take effect from today. We will make some changes to our vice chairmanship positions next week as a result of the fact that some of the senators have two vice chairmanship positions. In fact, I know of one who has 3. Maybe his name kept coming up, while others do not have. So, leader of the Senate, please assess to make sure everybody is carried along. Every senator should either be a chairman or a vice chairman so that we balance the situation.
We are here primarily as senators to do our job, not for any particular committee responsibility. That is at the discretion of the Senate leadership and the selection committee. And I sympathize with our predicament. You know my position on that issue. I've never been in support of any parliamentary body that suspends members for long periods of time.
Deported Venezuelans to be deported from the U.S., some straight out of prison. It will be difficult for a country like Nigeria to accept Venezuelan prisoners into Nigeria. We have, in the famous words of, I don't know if you know the U.S. rap group called Public Enemy. If you do, then you'll remember a line from Flavor Flav, a member of the group, who said, Flavor Flav has problems of his own. I can't do nothing for you men. We have enough problems of our own. We cannot accept Venezuelan deportees to Nigeria, for crying out loud. We already have 230 million people. You will be the same people that would castigate us.
Anybody who is too big to obey the Nigerian Constitution should relocate. This committee combines the powers to do what we are doing. Those powers are derived from the express provisions of the law. And if you fail to comply, we have our options.
After the last appearance of NNPC before this committee, a whole lot got into the public domain, portraying the Senate Public Accounts Committee not to have the required knowledge of what it is talking about. If one will wish Wadada away, because I am neither an accountant nor an auditor, one should have the respect that this committee has Senator Ibrahim Dankwambo, who was one time Accountant General of the Federation of Nigeria.
Welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited on 89.3 FM, Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio and your state #1 family radio station. This morning in Nigeria, on the front page of The Punch, the two major stories. Basically on the program on Fridays, we want to highlight some of the biggest stories of the week. But if you ask me, the issues here are so big and then we're still in that week anyways. Some of them, the stories are developing stories, and so we're just going to, dive straight into them, look at where it all started from, so we still capture the highlight of our week. On page 23 of The Punch this morning, NNPC refineries may never work again. Coming from Dangote, Nigeria rejected U.S. push to accept Venezuelan deportees, says Tuga. We just listened to his voice. Autonomy standoff. Girls get 4.5 trillion naira local government funds 1 year after Supreme Court ruling. That's also, on the front page of The Punch this morning. And other major stories in Nigeria. One of them, corrupt politicians using crypto wallet to launder money, says the EFCC chair. And I rented secret apartment after death threat, says Oyedele. That's also on The Guardian this morning. But let's start with Akpabio removes Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as Senate committee chair. That story is on the news. Today, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has announced the replacement of the suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as a chairman of the Senate Committee on Diasporal and Non-Governmental Organizations. Akpabio, during plenary on Thursday, announced Senator Bassi as the new chairman of the committee. As a result, Bassi replaces Natasha Akpoti, whose leadership of the committee had been uncertain due to her suspension. You will recall that in a minor reshuffle earlier in February, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was removed as the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Local Content and reassigned to the Diaspora and NGOs Committee. Although no formal explanation was provided for her replacement, it is thought that that the move may not be unconnected to her suspension. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court had ordered Natasha's ring statement, mandating her to tender an apology to the Senate for her conduct. But the Senate maintains it is yet to receive a true or certified true copy of the court judgment. Natasha, on her part, is yet to tender the apology. Our analyst joins us in the studio this morning, Mr. Olali. I was going to say Senator Olali Kosoni. All right.
Never can do.
Oh, well, are you a senator now?
Not yet.
Okay. I just need to be sure. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh, well. I'm very well. Thank you.
And congratulations for the event of the day before yesterday.
Oh, what event is that?
Many more of it.
Oh, birthday, you mean?
many more of it in the land of the living.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's get to this Natasha Akpoti story. I know we want to move very fast, but I want us to backtrack a bit, and that's because the court is also connected in this matter. The story of the local government autonomy is a major concern for some of us. It's more worrisome because I sit here every Monday at 2 p.m. on Inside Your State. And, some of the critical issues that we spotlight, people call in and then you can feel their pain. The community was here on Monday, to complain about the state of their road. And I know that one of the questions I asked is, have you been to Ido local government? And they said, no, we've only been to the state, works and the likes. And I can understand why, because for them, there's nothing for us at the local government. But that's a different conversation. I want us to talk about the court. Justice Bintan Yako, the Federal High Court, had ordered Natasha's reinstatement. Although even the side of Natasha, which is the apology, is yet to be done, the Senate is still asking for the true copy of the court order, and then a replacement of, the committee that Natasha currently chair. Again, the concern of what the people of Natasha's constituency, what their fate is in all of this. I'll let you, dive into this and help us make sense of all of this situation.
Thank you very much, Chief. Judge Binta Murtala Nyako did a fantastic job, in my opinion. It's the true and proper definition of no victor, no vanquished. She made sure that she had a responsibility to give each and every side in the battle. She said something quite instructive. She said that there is no law in the land that justifies the Senate suspending a member of the Senate for a prolonged time. And now we are talking about months now.
Yes.
The maximum that they can do that is 2 weeks. That is what is in the books. You can suspend a senator for not more than 2 weeks. Now we are talking about months. And they are still talking about issuing a letter of apology. Before you talk about letter of apology, you first of all need to admit that, okay, there is a judgment on the ground that clips our wings. But the Senate is not even prepared to accept that, which in my opinion is an act of illegality. They had a lawyer in court. Their lawyer must have fed them back. Okay, this is what the judge said. Okay, this is how we are going to do it. But looking at what they are doing, what they are talking about, they are not even prepared to do that. And it is a shame that the body constitutionally saddled with making laws is the one breaking the law now. I mean, it tells you not to expect anything positive from that angle. Because at this particular point in time, they're not talking about logic, they're not talking about constitutionalism, rather it's about grandstanding, which has no place in a democracy. And you should understand, the legislature determines and defines a democracy. No matter the type of government you are running, there is always going to be an executive, be it in khaki, be it in agbada, be it in traditional ways. I'm talking about monarchical system. Yeah. But there is always going to be an executive, and there is always going to be a judiciary. When Abacha was there were courts. We had the High Court, we had the Appeal Court, we had the Supreme Court, just like we have everything today. The only thing that we didn't have then was the legislature. Now it is the legislature that determines and defines democracy that is now, upturning everything. That is totally illogical, in my opinion. And in all seriousness, those who know about you need to talk to him. Because there is one thing the judiciary hates so very much, and it's you flouting their order.
You think so?
I know so.
I mean, the Supreme Court judgment, the local government autonomy is still...
Let me tell you something.
It's been over a year.
There was actually a time... No, that it's no longer their fault. They have done their own part. It's now left to the executive to implement what they have said. Yeah. We will get to that. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the issues you highlighted.
Major story, yeah.
When the former president was there, and the issue of Naira or no Naira got to the Supreme Court, they deviated. All 7 justices of the Supreme Court that sat on that particular case, they deviated and they spoke one after the other that this administration, as of then, that of Buhari, should be very, very careful, that it had the habit of serially violating and flouting their orders, that it should be very careful, that if it's not very careful, they know how to create a pitfall for it, and it was going to, fall into the ditch that they could create for it. But, the government of Buhari subsequently didn't do that again, especially with the Supreme Court. But the judiciary remains the judiciary until there is a contrary order from a court of higher jurisdiction, maybe the Court of Appeal in this instance, what Justice Binta Murtala Yako said is as good as what the Supreme Court is going to say, because that is the final order for now. The National Assembly has not said anything as regards filing an appeal. Should they file? In fact, there are ways they can. It just tells you that these people don't know A from B. If you are not satisfied with what Madam Justice Binta Yako said, you can go to the Court of Appeal. Number one, you file to appeal that case. Number two, you file for stay of execution. What stay of execution means is that, okay, there is an order on the ground, but I am not prepared to follow what the order says. You being a more learned judge, grant me the will and the power to not to do what the lower judge ordered, because in my opinion, the lower court judge erred. There is room for that. But they are not going towards that route. Instead, it's about we didn't see it and we didn't see it. If we didn't do it,
but who's supposed to provide the certified true copy? Is that the court?
The registry should provide it. But before then, the judges, the litigants in this instance, this National Assembly, Senate to be precise, and Natasha Akpoti, the two of them they already know what is happening. Their lawyers must have briefed them. Natasha was in court on that day, and lawyers of the Senate were also in the court on that day. So nobody should claim that we don't know what is happening. Lawyers and appellants could be sometimes funny, litigants could be sometimes funny. There is a judgment here. Before the close of that day, there is already an appeal. If it's not something that is favoring them and they want to file an appeal immediately, it's only within 30 minutes they would have filed a petition at the higher court. But now it's about, we haven't seen it. It shows that they know exactly what they are doing. And it's unfortunate that is the route they are following, because people are learning from them. People who are not even in government offices are learning a lot from them. And it is unfortunate that it's something bad, something anti-democracy that they are learning from the bastion of democracy.
I mean, someone said online that, it's making studying political science more, interesting, challenging, and more mentally tasking. Maybe undergraduate or postgraduate students
I pity people who are in school right now, because what they are saying is
it's not in alignment with...
It is the opposite of what they are being taught every day. So you now begin to wonder, which one do I...
Where do I stand?
Theory or practice?
This is serious. Well, let's talk about the replacement of Senator Natasha. And if you remember that even before all of this whole, issue of sexual abuse and the like, so reshuffling happened sometimes in February, when Natasha was removed as a chairperson of local content and assigned to the now, committee taken away from her. Do you think it's also a planned decision to be making the reshuffling at a time when the court, passed the judgment? Some have called this some form of witch hunting again, from maybe the Senate or the Senate president to Natasha. Let me get your view on this.
Clearly, it is an act of witch hunting. It is, in my opinion, morally reprehensible that AGBEYEWO could have done that. But the truth of the matter is that it's not illegal. That's the truth. There is morality, there is legality.
So it's not illegal to change, to reshuffle.
It is the prerogative of the Senate president to, at any time and at any point, reshuffle, dissolve, do whatever you want to do to committee chairs. It's like the president saying he wants to sack a minister. He appointed you as minister. If he's no longer interested in you being minister, or he doesn't have trust in your sense of judgment or ability, he can say, I'm replacing you. Nobody's going to. But, people are going to read meaning into it. Take, for instance, the president wakes up tomorrow to say, I'm sacking Wiki. Nigerians are going to say, oh, there is politics involved, there is that. But nobody can go to court because of it, because it's his absolute power and right to do it. And it's exactly the same thing for the Senate President here, Natasha Akpoti. He appointed her as chair of Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs. If at any point in time he feels like, oh, I need another person, that can be. What I am saying loud and clear here is that Mr. AGBEYEWO does not have the right to perpetually suspend Natasha Akpoti. That is what is established. And that is what
the perpetual reshuffling.
No, reshuffling.
Suspension.
I don't have any problem with reshuffling.
Okay.
Suspension from being a member of the Senate. That is where they are. That is where I have issues with AGBEYEWO. Now, the woman on a different table. The people of Kogi Central on a different table. The Constitution clearly demarcates 109 senatorial districts across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, AGBEYEWO has declared war on the people of Kogi Central because he does not want to listen to them. It is the duty of the Senate President to listen to each and every voice in the Senate because those voices represent over 200 million people. Now you have decided to blacklist the people of Kogi Central. That is anti-democracy. That is anti. That is a huge anti-democratic tendency on my part, and it's not supposed to stand.
All right, the story still stands, and of course, why do you think Senator Natasha is not apologizing? Really, stipulated by the court. Should reinstatement come before apology? I know she's supposed to, apologize in, I think, a national daily or two of them, and also to pay, I think, 5 million.
5 million for. She did something that, in the opinion of the court, was an act of contempt. The judge said, "Don't say anything."
Yes, and she
for
did.
now,
Yeah.
and she said something.
Yeah.
So the 5 million is not going to the National Assembly. It's not as if the National Assembly won against Natasha. Natasha violated what the court said.
Yeah.
And that is why she is paying 5 million.
Okay.
For the apology, she also has that to do. If it's what the court said, she must do it. If she does not want to do it, then she can go to a court of higher jurisdiction to say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma. I am not comfortable with this aspect of the judgment. I said I should apologize." Apologize for what? That's a different. But if she does that, she is also on the wrong side of the law.
The wrong side of the law. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, autonomy standoff. Gulfs get 4.5 trillion local government funds 1 year after Supreme Court ruling. We'll look at that and more when we come back. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Nene from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Give your child the gift of excellence at Juniors International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Are you searching for a school where top quality education meets care, love, and safety? A school where skilled professionals ignite young minds in an environment that stimulates learning, creativity, and moral growth? Do you desire a school that offers rich academic curricula designed to prepare your child for local and international examinations, opening doors to future success both within and outside Nigeria? At Juniors International School, we don't just educate, we discover and nurture each child's unique aptitude while molding them into highly productive global citizens driven by godly principles. Join us on the journey of raising tomorrow's leaders. Admission test into pre-nursery to year 5 holds on Friday, 1st August 2025. Venue: Juniors International International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Time 9 a.m. Admission forms are available online at www.juniorsinternationalschool.com or at the school premises. Juniors International School, Center of Excellence.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Deported Venezuelans, to be deported from the U.S., some straight out of prison. It will be difficult for a country like Nigeria to accept Venezuelan prisoners into Nigeria. We have, in the famous words of, I don't know if you know the U.S. rap group called Public Enemy. If you do, then you'll remember a line from Flavor Flav, a member of the group, who said, Flavor Flav has problems of his own. I can't do nothing for you, men. We have enough problems of our own. We cannot accept Venezuelan deportees to Nigeria, for crying out loud. We already have 230 million people. You will be the same people that would castigate us.
Welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Let's move on quickly. Autonomy standoff. Govs get 4.5 trillion local government funds 1 year after Supreme Court ruling. And exactly 1 year after the Supreme Court granted full autonomy to the 774 local government areas, the federal government has continued to channel allocations through state government. An analysis by the Punch shows that the state governors retain control of council allocations totaling 4.5 trillion naira, defiling the landmark judgment that have mandated direct funding to local government. On the 11th of July 2024, the Apex Court ruled that local government must receive their allocations directly from the Federation account, describing the long-standing practice of routing the funds through the state government as unconstitutional. And in response, the federal government constituted an interpanel agency to oversee the implementation of the ruling and directed the central bank to open individual accounts for each of the local government councils across the country to facilitate direct disbursement. However, 1 year after the judgment, findings by the Punch shows that the process remains largely unimplemented. Local government allocations have continued to pass through state governments amid delays and disputes between the central bank, state government, local government authorities, and other relevant agencies. An analysis of the data from the Federation Account Committee reveals that between July 2024 and June 2025, the sum of 4.496 trillion naira was disbursed to local government councils. This presents 24.87% of the 18.07 trillion naira shared among the three tiers of government over the 12-month period. Basically, local government in Nigeria is still not autonomous. That's what this is saying. Over 1 year after the ruling of the Supreme Court. The ball is in your court, Mr. Sanni.
July 7, I was full of ecstasy. 7 last year, 2024. Yeah. That was when the Supreme Court said, henceforth, local government admissions across Nigeria should, and in fact must receive their money directly from the federation account. And, there was judicial interpretation after judicial interpretation. Of course, judicial interpretations across all tiers end on the desk of the Supreme Court. But it appears that there are people who are superior to the Supreme Court in our country. There is only one person to blame for what's on the ground, it's the president. He has the will and the power to do what is right. But now politics is at the top of everything. The central bank is saying something that I do not even understand. Number one, nothing should concern the central bank with allocations. It comes straight from the federation account. It's not the central bank that sends what is due to your what is due to.
But the money will be sent into an account.
Yes.
And I think the role of the central bank here is just to create the account for them.
They have no role. That's the truth of the matter. If you are the governor of your state, or Ekiti State as the case is, all you need to do is to send your commissioner for finance and accountant general of your state to Abuja FAC, Ministry of Finance. You submit account. You as the governor, you are going to append your signature that I sent these people. And how you spend your money is no longer their concern.
So which means they can use any of the conventional banks.
Why not?
Not even connected to the central bank.
Yes.
So how did the central bank get into
the central bank is in this because there is an intentional mix-up. They don't want to pay the money to the local government authorities, administrations across the country. So they're now creating, imaginary roadblocks.
But who do you think is stopping this process?
It's all about politics. Now the CBN is saying that local governments should go and bring audited report of their accounts for 2 years. Somebody has not been collecting money from time immemorial, and you are asking that person to bring an auditor report of. How exactly is it going to happen? It is never going to happen. It's like saying, 5-year-old boy, go into the forest, go and get me the canine of a lion. It's never going to happen. How does he want to do it? That is exactly what is happening here. And beyond that, the president, in my opinion, is a hypocrite. And I'm going to tell you why I said that. 2005, we took General Obasanjo to court because General Obasanjo sat on the allocation of local governments in Lagos State. I am from Osun State and I'm very, very angry at what the president is doing. Now, the president has refused to release money belonging to local governments in Osun State. He is doing exactly what made him take someone to court. You can't do that. If you are somebody driven by philosophy and how things should run, you should call a spade anytime, any day. You were affected by what the president as of then did, you took into court. Today you are doing the same thing. That's classic definition.
Let's open the phone line quickly. Calls are already rolling in. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
This is Adirunke from me.
Good morning, Adirunke. Good morning.
On Dangote that said the NNPC refinery might not work again. My own take is that do we still have a refinery? Because out of all the Warri refinery and Port Harcourt refinery, all what we heard is that they are not working. So we don't expect that it should be working by now. So may God save us from this administration. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We will get to that story in a moment. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4. 893. Again, 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4. 893. The percentage of total allocation going to the local government has remained steady
24.
between 24 to 25% each month. And the method of disbursement continue to breach, the Supreme Court.
I should say something. Yeah. For the federal government sending the money to state governors, and for the state governors collecting the money, the two of them are violating the Constitution.
They are violating the Constitution. Hello, good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. George from Ologweru.
This is George. I'm calling from Ologweru.
Good morning, Mr. George.
I have severally said that we are always blaming the wrong people for what is happening to us. Thank you, Doctor, for pointing fingers at the president now. We have the same style, system of government in the Americas. And most cases, You can see the President of America, he will bring out presidential order and it will be implemented without anybody challenging him. In Nigeria here, our president is undoing us and nobody is challenging him. These people will mislead us continuously and this country will continue getting worse. We should please look for ways of talking to our president. And we don't like this type of administration that is given to us. We blame Dangote. And out of the whole refineries we're having in Nigeria, one particular man was able to establish a refinery that he's now using to supply the whole country. And yet we are still blaming him. When he finishes the refinery, he wants to start supplying us. It's the same federal government that made him that he cannot fix price. And yet we are still blaming him for price. When he reduces his own, the federal government will reduce their own when they run for just maybe 1 or 2 weeks. And we are blaming Dangote. Do you expect any other person to come up again after Dangote? Let's continue doing the wrong thing and then we expect good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George.
Finally, on the issue of local government autonomy, I see it as a type of political arrangement between the president and the governors. Okay, don't worry. This is just a hunch.
All right.
Keep supporting me, and I'll keep pumping local government money to you. That is what, because
even in the mix of a Supreme Court
that
judgment.
is what has been happening for over a year. So I mean, what
I
else
mean,
can we say?
when
the Supreme Court says something, the next thing that should follow is implementation.
You know,
when over a year now.
When the conversation. Okay, let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Sheriff calling from Manara.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, journalists in the studio.
Thank you.
I already dropped comments regarding local government autonomy in the Facebook page.
All right. Yes, I saw it a while ago.
The Supreme Court might well, but they ignore the reality of what the Constitution provides. The Constitution has to be amended before that judgment can be fully and legitimately enforced, because the Joint Account Allocation Committee is still operated all over the country. Till now. And lastly, Mr. President used local government autonomy to create politics for his own selfish interest. That is the major problem. If Mr. President can charge the Senate President and all the lawmakers that within 24 hours they must change the national anthem to new anthem, that means he must also charge them, they should amend our constitution for the interest of Nigeria. That's my own submission. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Let me say something.
Sheriff.
Mr. Sulaiman is totally wrong here. I mean, respect to the man, but he is totally wrong here. The Supreme Court has said it, like, at least for 10 years now, that there is no constitutional whatsoever for joint accounts, and that any state government that is running joint account with local governments is stealing money belonging to
the local government.
So,
hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
yes, good morning to you. All right, we lost that call. Do call us back.
So, I mean, there is no confusion here. There is no room for joint account, and there is no room for, sending money belonging to local governments. Now, the federal government is saying that local governments should bring audited accounts.
Right.
Have they extended that to state governments as well? That state governments too should bring audited accounts before you can get money. I mean, is the federal government itself submitting its own audited account to anybody? It tells you clearly that it's a case of, how do I
Before we move to the Toga story about the Venezuelan prisoners and the likes, I would like us to look at, when the conversation of this local government autonomy, came up, the president was at the center of it. And the executive order at a time like this is much expected because the body language of the president at a time is in alignment with local government autonomy. Why do you think the president, is slowing down on that? I want you to answer that after this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. We can hear you loud and clear. All right, please go ahead.
Mr. Salami, I believe if you are listening to us, call in and please just express your mind.
We can hear you because clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Yes, sir. And the truth of the matter is that the president is a politician. I don't see him as an administrator. I see him as a politician. This is just a hunch, my personal opinion. I mean, no basis to support, no fact to support it, but knowing who he is, It may be a case of, let me get something in my hand, something with which I can use to negotiate with this governor so that he can support me. Everybody has always known that. Okay.
Let's take this. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can
Hello?
hear you loud and clear. Hello. All right, please call the alternative line. Okay, thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Where should I do?
Good morning, Mr. Salami. Thank you for calling us.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Sanni.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you. Sir. All right, sir. Also. You see, we are on the issue of local government autonomy. There's something we are not looking at. There's a lacuna. And Mr. President created that lacuna for the implementation of that judgment. How do I mean? You see, most of these LCDAs that the governors have established, which was, which Mr. President started then as Lagos State Governor, is perhaps one of the key areas where the governors are so reluctant, because those LCDAs that they created are not recognized by the law, and as a result, there is this palpable fear that should that judgment be implemented, how they now balance. That means all those their LCDAs will be starved of funds, because the money will directly go to 774 local governments officially recognized by the law. And that's why I said this lacuna was created by Mr. President himself. You see, that's why at times when you are digging hole for your enemy, you should not dig it too long, too deep. Perhaps you might be the one that will fall on it. So the President already understands this, and that's why I'm afraid this law may never be implemented by this administration. Thank you
so
morning.
much. Thank you so much. And you too, Mr. Salami, thank you for your time.
I should say something here. The Supreme Court has said it loud and clear that there is nothing called OCD. There are just 3 tiers.
But unfortunately,
because they are playing politics. Just
in reality.
Just because they are playing
I mean, if
politics.
not anywhere in Lagos State, active and vibrant.
The current president, when he was governor of Lagos State, created 37 of them. 37 of them. And they are still there till today. In fact, they're even creating more. And it is illegal. That's just the truth of the matter.
Hello, good morning to you.
Lemon Sheriff's calling back once again.
All right, Sheriff, thank you.
See, if the Supreme Court said that nothing like the SCDA, what about some states like Ikiti, even Lagos State, they want to conduct local government in SCDA. But here in Oyo, I think during the local government election, they did not conduct local government in the SCDA at all. What they did is that the first chairman of the local government, the one to go ahead the SCDA. But the major problem is that what about those states that they conduct the government in the SCDA? And that SCDA is not our constitution. That's another bottleneck. So that the best way is that maybe you stop all those governors that should not conduct election in SCDA again, because our constitution only recognizes 174 local government. And by creating the SCDA, thank God that Mr. President, when he was the governor of Lagos State, that's when he created the SCDA.
All right.
People conduct election that SCDA, which is not in our constitution. That's my own submission.
All right, Sheriff, thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
George, calling back.
All right, Mr. George.
You see that what everybody is talking about now, all our fingers are being pointed at the president. And he's the one managing the affairs of this country. And he's allowing most people to disrespect our Supreme Court. Where does he want us to go for a redress? So we should point finger at him. Even the refinery is not working out the rest of it. They are all on its own table. He's the head of the NNPC. He's in charge of petroleum. So Mr. President should do the right thing. He should not continue to make the people suffer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George. I'm sure that if we stay with this, we're going to spend
what's the difference between somebody conducting an election directly into what does not exist and somebody drafting a vice chair for a recognized government to an entity that does not exist? It's still illegality and illegality, as far as I'm concerned. There is only one person to blame for this, and it is the president. That's the president.
Okay, another call on the line. I want us to take this Venezuelan story. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. That's Mr. Tayo. Oh, we lost your call, Mr. Tayo. Please call us back. Nigeria rejected U.S. push to accept Venezuelan deportees, says Tuga. If you're having a challenge reaching the first line, please use the alternative number 0915 334 893 0915 334 893. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, has said the United States is mounting pressure in African countries to accept Venezuelan deportees, stating that it would be difficult for Nigeria to do that. The minister also clarified that a fresh 10% tariff imposed on Nigeria by President Donald Trump's administration may not have anything to do with President Bola Tinubu's meeting with the BRICS nation. Tuga stated this on Friday evening during a one-on-one interview on Channels Television Politics Today. The issue of tariff may not necessarily have to do with us participating in BRICS. You have also bear in mind that the U.S. is mounting considerable pressure on African countries to accept Venezuelans from the U.S., some straight out of prison. It will be difficult for a country like Nigeria to accept prisoners into the country. We have enough problems of our own. One of it, I mean, if you are new to Nigeria and you've been following this show in the last 20 minutes, obviously you accept that we have our own problems.
Myriad of problems.
And then accepting, Venezuelans and even prisoners straight from the U.S.
The truth of the matter is that the current Minister of Foreign Affairs does not know his onions.
Okay.
You don't play your cards in national relations. You don't play a game of chess where everything is in the open in national relations. Number one, to start with, the minister is being economical with the truth. Trump said that if you are associating with BRICS, expect 10% extra tariff. So him saying that, it has nothing to do with me, that is a very big fat and total lie. But let's now talk about the issue of bringing in deportees from the United States, especially people of Venezuelan origin. Venezuela is not interested in accepting these people.
That's their home country.
Their home country. So there is no justification whatsoever for why Nigeria should. But there are ways you craft responses, especially diplomatic responses, that will place huge burden on your opponent without even saying much. You can even link it with the issue of visa, where they are saying, okay, instead of 5 years, we are going to give you 3 months. You can say the U.S. is attempting to foist an opinion on us, an opinion that they cannot even accept as a sovereign country, but they want to push it down our throat. And I guess that is why they are going full throttle in the area of destroying the bilateral arrangement between us. You don't even have to say what it is. People will now begin to wonder what is happening, what exactly is the U.S. trying to, and the U.S. should now be on the defense at that particular. No, we are not saying much. You can even link it with terrorism, with everything that is happening. You now create the moral burden on the U.S. That is how to play this type of game. Not that you just open your card and begin to say, they told us. No, but no serious diplomat will say, this is what they are telling us. No. It's about creating a faint picture where, it's not going to be totally clear, but people who are in the know will know exactly what you are talking about. The U.S. knows what is happening. They know that they are trying to tell you to accept people that they cannot even accept themselves, but they won't say that is what is happening.
Why? I'm just thinking, it's Nigeria now a dumping ground for
it's not
the United States. He said something as to, we have our problems, and if we accept this, going by the economy, you will be the same set of people, pointing fingers at us, saying we're not doing the appropriate things here.
The president of Rwanda actually signed that deal with the United Kingdom. The government of, I think, Boris Johnson signed the agreement. In fact, they even gave Rwanda 250 million pounds, which is upwards of 500 billion naira in our own local currency. Guess what? At the end of the day, the British Parliament didn't approve it. And Rwanda said, I'm not going to pay you a dime again, without even telling anybody. So Rwanda just cash out like that. Soft money. As they say on the street. If Nigeria wants to play that type of game, I wouldn't have said anything. But now you have told the whole world the last joker, the final joker in your hand. The US can decide to, just BSU, go your way. And they will now begin to implement policies that are going to be detrimental
to the nation. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name again?
George.
That's Mr. George. All right. Yeah. Just wanted to be sure. Thank you, Mr. John.
Our country, our president, may accept those prisoners in order to make do with the U.S. government. There is one thing they always do which we don't know. Take, for example, we have a problem which we are trying to solve, this issue of insecurity. And we know the source, we know where those people are coming from. And they have been terrorizing us for so many years now. We have not had any country outside this Nigeria who has come to say, this is what we want to do to stop this insecurity that is killing your people. Now you want to bring prisoners from Venezuela to Nigeria. Which prison do we have in Nigeria that can take care of such people? Do you know how they take care of their prisoners over there? We are going to create problems for ourselves again. And don't be surprised that our president will go and grab that offer now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, time will not permit us to look at that story, more critically. But I'm sure maybe tomorrow on the roundtable, you probably will highlight that, the better, with better time. We have less than 3 minutes to go. I want us to talk about Dangote saying that the NNPC refineries may never work again. Under the new management, the NNPCL had gopped $18 billion, yet have refused to work. Coming from Dangote.
The truth of the matter is that it's only one thing that is destroying the NNPC till this very present moment, and it is corruption. Corruption. Okay, look at it now. I'm not even sure the president is interested in NNPC refineries working.
Even as the Minister of Petroleum?
Yes. I was going through the books yesterday, and I realized that the new executive vice president of NNPC, downstream, for those who don't understand the oil industry, downstream means crude extraction.
Yeah.
Is now somebody who used to run the president's. It's a lot of things that you just run into and you lose your breath. If that's the case, you should know that nothing tangible is going to come from that side. Because if it's about running it effectively, you bring in core professionals who know exactly what they are doing. I should tell you that this guy was running a company that was in the red. Basically, they were in the red. Now that person is the one in charge of VP, the executive vice president of NNPC in the area of crude. You should know the interest. The interest is not making Nigeria work. That I can say that anyway.
Let's take this comment and then we go on the show. Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. Only local government elections conducted by INEC without compromise system can bring meaningful change and improve grassroots governance. The Punch also learned that the 16 local government in Kwara State were yet to open an account with the CBN. The best way to allow local government autonomy to operate, the lacuna in our constitution must be removed, and especially the Joint Allocation Account Committee. Our constitution must be amended for the interest of Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mr. Lali Kosoni,
it is always
for your time. And that's all we can take on the show today. Perspectives Unlimited. Join the roundtable tomorrow morning with Chukwemeka and the other gentlemen on the program to look at critical issues in Nigeria. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next is AM Sport. Good morning to you.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.